Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Raising Bulls, brought to you by the Beautiful Game Network, Roughneck Scarves, and Icarus FC. We are the only podcast dedicated to the New York Red Bulls 2 of the USL Championship. Hey, folks. Another week, another quarantine stream. It's not a stream. I thought it would be fun if I brought you more than one player this week. So I held off posting the most recent interview I'd done with Cherif Dieye. So we have that one today, and we also have Omar Sowe. And I think both of those are real fun talks. Cherif especially because he's been picked as worst haircut by quite a few players. So I was very interested in who he said has the worst haircut on the New York Red Bulls too. We're still at a point now where we don't know if there's going to be a season yet. It seems like things are ramping up for MLS or USL, but there's nothing new there to report just yet. For my own bit, before we get into the interviews today, I think people who follow on Twitter already know, but I've stepped down at Red Bulls News Network. I think one of the things that I focused on during this quarantine is managing my anxiety levels. And it's been tough. It's been real tough. And it was tough to the point where I had to pick my creative pursuits a little bit more carefully and guarded. So I wanted to stay covering the Red Bulls too, but I didn't see a way that I would be able to do that and wrangle writers and perform to the level that I needed at Red Bulls News Network. So I've turned that over. I'm no longer running that site. I do still have a little bit of a footprint there, and maybe from time to time you'll see some stories from me there, but I'm not the managing editor there anymore. Doesn't mean you shouldn't still support that site. I think there's a lot of good people that work for it, and I think they're going to continue to put out a lot of great content. So make sure you still go over there. And don't worry, I'll still be doing this for a while. I'll still be going to games at MSU and doing that thing. So fear not, folks. I'll still be out there doing my thing. And I very much enjoy doing it. And I enjoy doing this right now it's not every week, but every week during the season, I really do enjoy doing this. I love talking to players and the various media folks from around the country that we've talked to and team personnel. It's all been a pretty fantastic journey. Nevertheless, today I already said who we had, but we've got Cherif Dieye and Omar Sowe. I think these were recorded about 2 weeks apart. But nonetheless, I think they're fantastic interviews. Great to talk to both players. And hopefully before long, we actually get to see them on the field. And we're back. We're still rolling along with the quarantine content, and we have another first-year player for the Red Bulls too. It's Cherif Dieye. Cherif, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I have to note before we start that, and we'll get to this later, I'm sure, but your name has come up quite a bit on the podcast over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, for real? I didn't know that.
I will reveal all when the time is right for sure. But how is everything right now for you? I know it's kind of weird, coming up and being in your first professional season, and everything kind of grinds to a halt. So how are you dealing with that, and how has it been so far?
Well, I'm just taking the positive aspect of it. It's true that just staying in, not being able to practice every day, to touch the ball every day is kind of boring a bit, but it also enables you to reflect on yourself, reset your goals, reset your body. Mostly we've been training at home and everything, but this is just a good way to enjoy your time alone by yourself, to know more about you, actually. Because this is actually a good way, but I also think it is taking a lot of things away of, from our normal life, but it will get back to normal soon. We hope.
Yeah, most definitely. And training alone, that's got to be a little bit weird, right? Because you've probably been playing for, well over a decade, but now here you are probably for the first time for a long stretch of where so much of the work is reliant on just your output on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, definitely. Like even during off season, I'm used to doing it alone. So this is just a reminder. I think, yeah.
So, where did you grow up?
Uh, I fully grew up in Senegal till I was 16 years old.
And you came over here to start going to high school, or
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. For my junior and senior year, I was recruited by IMG Academy.
And how did that come about?
Uh, it was actually like I was not waiting for that because I just used to like study all the time.
Hmm.
So my brother just told me to come here for a camp at IMG Academy since he was living in Florida, in Miami. So I just went there for 3 weeks. But by the second day, they advised me to come there, and by the third day, they definitely like was interested. So they took claim for me like to my dad and everything, and it happened just quickly and suddenly. That was I wasn't expecting that, and that was the first time actually I was really taking soccer seriously because I just used to play on the streets in Senegal. So not it was serious, but I just started considering it like honestly when I just came here in the US.
What were your thoughts like in those first few days, realizing that, oh, this might be something more than I realized?
Actually, I was like since I was a kid, like watching Ronaldinho, the Barcelona team taking over the world. I was just I don't know. I was just thinking about playing soccer all the time, but I was just studying. Like I just believed my destiny was about studying. But after quite some time, mostly when you are an adolescent, you realize what you want the most. So I just knew that I could not stay in an office like from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day.
Yeah,
Just reading books, yeah.
most definitely. And what was the response from your family when you decided you're going to start leaning into soccer?
Well, my older brother took it very well because he wanted to be a soccer player too. My dad, my mom too. My mom she still don't consider it like nothing serious.
Yeah.
That's why I have been yeah, and even my dad too. But now he's starting it like to get it, but because it's kind of different back home. So now it's kind of it is starting to be more influential back home, like with my family and everything. They're starting to support me from that. My brother started to support me from the beginning. My little sister too, even my older sister. So it's getting much better.
That's excellent. And so through the academy, presumably people started to pay attention to your game, and then Louisville came calling.
Yeah, Louisville. That one too was a was a funny story because I was playing against the Louisville's head coach son's team. So we were down 1-0. So I played a game before against some professional teams against Tottenham,
Mm-hmm.
the U18 at the IMG Academy tournament in December. So after that game, my previous coach just told me that they had to win for them to be able to go to final. So I was just sleeping on the bench for 70 minutes, and I just scored 2 goals after I got in. and the coach was watching, and I didn't know he was watching. He just called me after the game and set up a meeting right away and made me come visit Louisville 2 weeks later when I came back from Senegal, and I just commented the next day.
That is super interesting. It's another one of those examples of just sort of, being in the exact right place at the exact right time, and you got the tools to put it together, and you were able to showcase. When you went to Louisville, how different was that from your previous experience at the academy?
School wise and practice wise, it was, and like just just the schedules of the day were not different. But at Louisville, I thought I had more time mostly for the scheduling of classes, but for the soccer, my first year was like mostly my first month was not easy because of the size difference, like the body difference, the physical aspect of it. But after 1 month, 2 months, it was going very well. I ended up being in the starting team and everything, so it went very well after that.
What did it take, I guess, for you to get past those physical limitations?
Just just work, and I was late physically.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I was late. Even now, if you see me, like you can think that I'm 16 if I shave my beard. So like I just thought the only way I think was just working harder than the other ones all the time. When they do one, you do double all the time. So it was paying off at the end of the day.
Fair. When I look at anybody on the Red Bull 2 teams over the last couple of years, I always feel like they all look like babies. So I don't know if I would be able to say that with you.
Yeah.
But and then, of course, you end up getting drafted by the Red Bulls. Did you have an idea that they were interested beforehand?
Yeah. I had an idea because my coach told me my before my agent signs with me, he was telling me to. But I was not thinking about Red Bull actually because I didn't know actually because there were a lot of teams like LAFC, Los Angeles, Minnesota, Sporting Kansas City, and all of those they were inviting me to their camps and everything. So I just I just don't know how it happened, but I guess it was just destiny, and I'm not regretting it.
That's got to be pretty exciting, though, hearing those names, because I mean, Kansas City and LAFC and Red Bull, these are teams that I guess LAFC doesn't have quite as much history, but in their short history have been really strong programs that have done really well. What was going through your mind hearing all of that?
Actually, I couldn't believe it because I was just thinking about achieving my dream of a young boy. So I was just sometimes I just don't pay attention to that. I just let destiny do its work, and I think it just brought me here.
Excellent. And so, what was your experience like during preseason?
It was a really good experience. Like the physical difference and everything I had with from IMG to Louisville, I didn't feel it. I was just feeling fatigue. Maybe the only difference I was feeling was the rhythm
Mm-hmm.
and the pace of the game. But for the first week, it was going very well. Second week, it was going very well. But the others, they were used to it, so the body was not as tired as I was. So the third week we came back here, I was really, really, really tired. And I didn't know also about the services they were offering. Like, I guess being a professional is different. Nothing is limited. You can have help, like massages and everything, but spas, I didn't know that.
Right.
So, yeah, so my third week, I was really, really, really tired. But But when we decided to go back to Arizona, it just happened that I knew about the massage and everything with the lady over there. She helped me my first day after we got there, like on the Sunday. Then for the rest of the preseason, my body was fresh and I was just doing amazing. But I just couldn't play because, well, I was not under contract and
Right.
I understood it. So the players under contract had to get ready. So I just had to deal with it and just just let the other ones do their job. But I just had to pay attention to myself and just keep focusing on what I can do and what I can control.
And looking ahead to what, may be a very short season, it might not be a season at all. What are your hopes for, maybe a timeline for when you start getting back out there and playing more? And do you have any specific, like non-stat based goals that you're looking to reach?
Well, I guess it's my first season, but I'm just focusing on the goals that I can achieve. The practice session's been going very well. I've been testing myself. I've been just going over my limits and everything, just doing hard work, scoring goals, attacking, defending, just doing most of just doing most of the stuff that I do regularly, but just in another rhythm, in a more professional way. So I just hope it pays off on the field and to reach the highest limit I can get. But I don't think I will have a limit with that.
Well, I'm sure a lot of Red Bull fans
Well,
will be glad to hear that for sure.
I also think once I'm settled, everything will be much easier. With me, it's just a matter of being comfortable. The more I'm comfortable, the more it will be better for me. Because naturally, my only problem during preseason was my shyness, but it will fix itself. Through the years, and through the days, it will be much better. And I'm feeling very well within the team too. So the coaches are helpful. The players nice too. So that's good.
And you probably have a good amount of experience of kind of, picking up and going into a new environment in a very similar way, be it going down to the IMG Academy or going to Louisville. You've kind of learned to roll with the punches a little bit.
Yeah.
Fair.
Definitely.
Well, Cherif, this has been great talking to you. Before I let you go, I have to subject you to the lightning round. And this is, well, we'll get to it when we get to the question, but this is where your name has popped up quite a bit.
Oh.
Okay.
We can do it.
Popcorn, yes or no?
Yes.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Super Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog?
I'll go with Sonic.
There you go. Who's your favorite team to play as in FIFA?
Ooh, Manchester City.
Boo. I'm going to boo at you, Cherif.
No, but they're not my team.
Oh, okay. Who's your team?
FC Barcelona.
All right, that's a pretty good team. I think that's fair. And this is where you have been the answer of a question. Who has the worst haircut on the New York Red Bulls too? And I think the team was clowning on you for shaving your head.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna have to think about that.
This is your chance for revenge. Derry?
They record.
I love it. That's perfect. Cherif, thank you so much for coming on. It's been great talking to you. I hope we all get to see you out there soon, and everybody stay safe and healthy in your life. And we're back. I'm joined now by second-year professional, which it feels kind of strange to say already, Omar Sowe. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing, John?
Not too bad. We're starting to get to a point now where there's some real talk about next steps for this year, and it's definitely been a weird one. But what's it been like for you?
To be honest, for me, I'm just still enjoying it. Like it's not really much of anything off the field that I think of. Like I just like to focus more on playing. I'm not sure what's going to be happening, but I'm just trying to enjoy what's going on right now. It's my second year as a pro. I'm learning a lot, and I'm just trying to figure out what the next step is for myself too.
What did you imagine this year was going to be like before everything kind of went belly up?
Honestly, I thought we were going to have a good year. I was feeling like really, really healthy, and I thought the guys were looking good, and I felt like we really had a good team throughout the preseason. We did well. We didn't start off good, but we started off where we should have been. And the way it was going with the first game, it wasn't what we expected, but we learned from that. And I thought it would have been a good comeback from that, but obviously this whole situation went down, so it's really tough to change the mindset, I guess. You got to keep having the same one because we don't know how long this is going to be happening. We can't really doze off. We can't zone off. We have to still be the same Red Bulls we were before.
In your mind, or like maybe in your perfect world, what does returning to the field look like? Is it playing in empty stadiums in a specific location? I know that's something they floated for MLS to resume, to do sort of like a tournament style something in Orlando.
I'm not really. I'm not sure. For me, like just as long as I'm on the field, to be honest, whether if it's closed doors or if limited amount of fans, however they're gonna do that, I don't really mind. I just want to be back out and playing.
Is this the longest you've been off the field since you came up? That's super bizarre, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking to everybody, one of the things they've talked about is a lot of like the individual work that's sort of assigned to you guys. How's that been for you?
It's been good. They've really, like the coaching staff has done a really good job of taking care of us, like knowing what to give us. My coach Eric, our physical coach, he's done a really, really good job, to be honest, with the workouts he's been sending us. Like usually we'll have everyday workouts, daily sessions. Sometimes we'll go on Zoom together as a team. It's nice, easy package. It's nothing crazy, but it keeps us in shape.
And my kid is, just the one kid, thankfully, but is doing a lot of like those giant Zoom calls. Is it a little chaotic with everybody on?
No, it's very well organized. Like I said before, they really do a good job of handling this. I didn't know how we were going to do it. The first week we were all just confused, obviously, but they did a good job of communicating with us, and then now we figured out a little schedule. It's calmed down a little bit. It's still not a perfect, it's not ideal. We want to be out on the field, but, as long as we're working out alone, we'll be fine.
Now, you had, maybe not as much time as you would have liked on the field at the end of last year, but I think your minutes steadily increased as the year went on. What sort of lessons did you learn in your first year?
My first year was kind of tough for me. Like, I don't know. I guess every rookie would say that, but it was fun. It was just a matter of just calming down. Like the name being a pro is not like just showing up to like club soccer. You're getting paid to go out there and perform, and that it took me a while for that to kick in. I felt like I was given a fair amount of playing time, and I felt like I performed well when I got that little bit of time. But this year would have been a lot better because I would have started in the beginning of the season, and I'll probably play a lot more games. But hopefully, the season comes back, and we'll see.
When you talk about sort of like settling into being a pro, Were there particular people that were helping you do that?
Oh yeah, the whole organization. From the moment I signed, like I was just really, really nervous and like not scared, but it's not the same as just showing up to academy training and just knowing everybody, knowing what's going on. But being a pro is a little bit different. It's more of like a workplace, I would say. But the guys, especially on the team, have like helped me like since day one. I remember I had a really, really tough one training session, like the beginning. And Brad was there, and he was trying to calm me down, saying, just relax, just play like you're playing anywhere else, and just giving me that little bit of advice. And till this day, I still hold on to it. And once you find your confidence, especially as a young player, that's really, really tough. But I feel like once you have that, there's not much that can really stop you, because there's a reason why you're there. You're good enough, but it's just like finding something within you to keep you there, And For me, I felt like my confidence was one of those things. And the guys have helped me out a lot on that.
When we talked last year, you referenced Brad as well. And obviously, him moving on this past offseason was difficult, I think, for a lot of Red Bull fans. But I also imagine there are a lot of players within the organization who he's touched in a big way, that it's got to be a little bit difficult without him there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's just one of those guys, obviously he's been there so long, so he has that respect within just not even him playing, but just him as an individual when he's over there. I look at him as a leader, especially because he is a forward, and myself, I'm a forward, so a lot of the things that I like to pick up are from him, especially with him just being right next door and just talking to him and giving me a little tips and stuff like that. Obviously now that won't be possible because he's in LA, but I still think that he's still one of the best players that I've gotten to play. And I haven't even played a whole season with him, so I can imagine everybody else.
Yeah, most definitely. What's something that you look at now in your game that you say, I need to improve this to step up to the next level?
I felt like it was that's wow. One thing that my coaches and I have like kind of gotten since the beginning I've been there, since now the transformation is that my size, as in like I could be bigger and a little bit faster. So I think my physicality would be one of them. It would be a good attribute to have to add on. But I felt like besides that, there's obviously a lot that I can work on, but that would be my main one.
All right, I think that's fair. I've got a couple more for you. What is the 5-year plan for you, or do you not think that far ahead?
Honestly, no, not really. Like I like to just wherever I'm at is where I'll play. It's not more of obviously I want to play at the best clubs and I want to be the best player, but it doesn't happen overnight, so that it takes a lot of hard work. So with me, I feel like if I can maintain my hard work and talent I have and just keep getting better, anything can happen. Obviously, I would love to play for Red Bulls, the first team, but that would be a dream come true for me.
And when you look at the young players who have come through the club, especially over the last couple of years, I think that you have very different test cases for how that success comes about. You have the guys who sort of rocket through the ranks and end up on the first team. In some cases, it's happenstance. Like a guy like Matt Miazga and Aaron Long, they really end up with those starting spots because of situational circumstances. That there's injuries in the first team, and they're kind of thrust into the role, and then they excel there. But obviously, that's not a blueprint for a young player. So, being in the middle of it, I know it might be a little bit difficult to be objective about it, but what is something that you might recommend for other young players that are coming up and kind of going through this journey to maybe look for specific markers of success?
there's only one advice that really is, to be honest, in my eyes, and I think it's just working hard. It doesn't mean just working hard, like on the field or off the field, as in working hard and okay, my left foot isn't good. Maybe I should work on my left foot till it's good. And if that happens, then you move on to the next one. Okay, my speed isn't really that good. Let me work on that. So it has to be like an everyday mindset. There really isn't room for like error, I guess, especially at a pro level where you're getting paid to perform. So you got to take care of yourself and your mentality. But I think for a lot of academy players that I played with, especially last year, the one thing is the mentality. A lot of them are good enough to play anywhere, but your mentality does matter. Like I said before, it's tough because you're going from watching these guys on TV every day to like training with them. So it's not an easy transition, I'd say, because you're still like in like a child zone. Like, damn, like I'm really,
That's
like
okay.
I'm really playing with these guys. Like I felt that on my first training session when I walked out there. I'm like, what? Oh, this is about to be my goalie on like 11v11. I have Brad to the left of me. I have Alex Mule to the right. I'm like, yo, like this is crazy. So like stuff like that, moments like that kind of still do happen. Well, I'd say for me at least, but I feel like your mentality, if you can take care of that, then you'll be fine.
Omar, this has been a great talk. Thank you so much for coming on. I have to put you through sort of I put you through the lightning round once, but I have to give you the expanded questions if you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the title of your autobiography?
Wow. It's time for greatness.
I like it. Excellent. If there was one movie, book, painting, song, something that you could claim was your creation, what would that be?
Oh, sheesh. That's a tough one. I'm not sure on that one.
All right, that's fair. You don't have to have an answer. That's okay.
Wait, can you repeat it? Actually, I'm sorry.
If there's one piece of art, so be it a movie, a song, a book, a TV show, something like that, that you could claim was your own,
Okay.
what would you pick?
I will take. Wow. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I think that's a fair answer. It's a tough one. There's so many things. Okay. You're on death row. What is your last meal?
Oh, my last meal. Definitely my mom's rice and chicken.
That is a good answer. I can't tell you how many people pick fast food.
Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, that's not going in. Definitely my mom's.
And last but not least, this is the big one. Who has the worst haircut on the New York Red Bulls 2?
Oh, man. I know the guys are going to hear this talk. I can't go in. Sheesh. Who am I going to give this one to? Taku.
All right. Excellent. I like it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Taku.
Well, Omar, thank you so much for coming on. I hope that we get to see you back on the field very soon.
Oh, for sure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Anytime.
Well, that's it for me today. You know, during this whole quarantine thing, I haven't really been doing a full sign-off. But, of course, we're brought to you by the Beautiful Game Network, Roughneck Scarves, and Icarus FC. Make sure you give those places a look-see. See if there's anything that they can do for you. I know Roughneck Scarves is doing a lot of like custom masks right now. So if that's something that you guys are into and want to maybe look into, give them a try. Head over to roughneckscarves.com and design your mask of choice with team logos and stuff. Anyway, for myself, for Cherif Dieye, for Omar Sowe, Thank you very much and have a great night.